Welcome everyone to another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we have with us Mr. Dushyant. He is a legal consultant in this space of blockchain and Web3, and very happy to have you with us, Dushyant. And I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, thanks, Pratik. Happy to be here. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
right.
yes, please proceed.
This blockchain field is really new, I think, for everyone. And so, same is the case with me. And I entered this blockchain field like, I think, 1.5 year back. Uh, so, what I do in blockchain right now is I focus on the legal aspects of blockchain and crypto. So what happened was, so I was doing my college, and as the college was coming to an end, so I got to know about this crypto and blockchain, and I got fascinated with it, as everyone of us here. So I started dabbling more into it, and then I found that it's a very niche field, and it's a very interesting field, and I wanted to get associated with it. So I started learning more about it. At that time, I didn't know how to intersect between blockchain and law. But then somehow kept on reading more about this field, and then at later point, finally, I got some opportunity in in legal work in blockchain and crypto. So I started doing this legal due diligence in crypto and blockchain. I like to stay aware of all the laws, all the relevant laws which are floating globally, because it helps as it's a very new field, so laws are still in development stage. So yeah, so that's a pretty interesting thing to focus upon.
Right, indeed, indeed. So, Dushyant, we can I think start with some introduction, some background as to what kind of regulations are there around blockchain in India particularly, and so we can have a brief introduction about that.
Yeah, definitely. So in India, there is no particular specific regulation as such created for crypto or blockchain till now. We recently had this finance bill in February this year. So what that bill did was it introduced taxation regulations around crypto and blockchain. So basically, earlier our in under taxation, this crypto was taxed as per the capital gains tax. So like it the same methodology was used in stocks. So suppose you trade stocks or you invest in stocks, the same type of taxation structure was applied to crypto also before, when there was no regulation in crypto. But now they have come up with this finance bill and enacted new taxation regime for crypto. So that's one major change that has happened. And I could uh, and in mostly this new taxation regime is not as supportive as one would want for crypto to excel in India, because you see highest rate of taxation in capital gains was 25% for short term trading. If you would make gain in short term trading uh, under 1 year, then you were supposed to pay the tax on that amount by 25%. And now this crypto has increased that taxation amount to 30%, and uh, also it introduced some other non-friendly aspects in taxation. Like there were some subsidies given under previous regime of capital gain tax, but in this new regime, regulators are not willing to give any subsidies to tax holders, uh, to taxpayers. Yeah, so this is right now this is the most relevant law that has been enacted in India. Uh, in other jurisdictions, case the case is not the same. Basically, all the other jurisdictions follows uh, their capital gains tax. They don't have a special taxation regime for crypto, which can be a good thing because uh, they have the same laws that applies to stocks trading and investment. So that's a good thing. But India preferred to do otherwise. So that's on taxation. Besides that, any other law, I think there is no other law as such has been enacted yet in India. Some type of KYC AML laws are being enacted. So recently there have been some guidelines uh, by this information under Information Technology Act. So that guideline said that any crypto service provider have to uh, have to comply with KYC AML laws. So that can be taken as an extra compliance that this crypto service providers need to take care of while providing crypto services to Indian customers. Even the companies that are outside India would come under that. So that's a major compliance which have been introduced in last few months. Yeah, so that's the that's the I think most that's the gist about Indian laws on crypto.
Right. So, some of the laws that you mentioned were around crypto. And so, what do you think these laws? What is the aim of these laws? In order to implement that, is the government trying to discourage crypto, or why do you think we have that?
Yeah, so I think this stems because government is actually apprehensive of crypto. As per my understanding, what I understand till now, the view I have is government is apprehensive of crypto. Government see crypto and blockchain as two different things. Government in their reports, there is this research reports which government publish, major institutions from governments. They publish in that research report that we support blockchain and blockchain would be very beneficial for us in future and all. But they somehow uh, see crypto as a different aspect and see and discourages crypto. They see it as speculative activity. So that's why they are apprehensive of crypto. And another major thing why they are apprehensive of crypto is so RBI, as every Indian know, RBI is very apprehensive of cryptos, and we face very hard time in doing on ramps and off ramps from our banks to crypto exchanges. And the reason for that is because RBI specifically asks every commercial bank to not to entertain crypto transactions, not to entertain crypto folks who do on ramp and off ramp. And the major reason for this apprehension of there is because they are afraid that the value of rupee will get affected if crypto gets a mainstream adoption. Because if you see, all of the trading pairs of crypto is denominated in USD. USDT, US dollars. So there is no, there is very limited pairs, especially on Indian exchanges, which are denominated in INR, Indian rupees. So what their biggest fear is that if we allow crypto trading and crypto investment to become mainstream, then most of our Indian currency will will get converted into USD and will leave the country. So due to this foreign exchange crunch, fear of this foreign exchange crunch, they don't want to support crypto. So that's their main fear, and that's why they try to discourage crypto trading and crypto investment.
Right, indeed. So, any particular regulations around blockchain apart from crypto that are coming up?
No, there is no particular blockchain specific regulations are coming up. So blockchain is basically it doesn't need any regulation as such because if it's a let's say permission blockchain, then it will do its work in its relevant specific industry. For example, if the blockchain is in finance industry or healthcare industry, it will go by the existing laws which that industry already have. Like in healthcare, the laws which are already existing, that blockchain have to follow that. But when we add crypto to blockchain, then it becomes something which our regulators ponder their head upon ki how to regulate it in a way that it won't be harmful to our nation interests and economy. So yeah, regulations on crypto are coming, and we are more likely to see regulations for crypto and in other jurisdictions also. Crypto specific regulations are the main focus of the regulators, that they have to come up with some good regulations with which they can regulate crypto. You see,
Right.
yeah, right.
So, let's say yeah.
Yeah, what were your
Right. So,
thoughts?
I'll give you a kind of a use case.
Right.
So, let's say I'm a blockchain platform and I want to issue tokens, right,
Okay.
uh, to my audience, but that is not crypto. That is a token for use within the ecosystem. So something, maybe I want to do something like an ICO. So what are the regulations around that, and how is it possible to do that in India?
Yeah, so there are quite a lot of aspects that need to be considered. So you said ki you basically wants to do a token sale for your product,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So for token sale, there are if we prepare a list of compliances, we'll first come up with what type of token sale that should be. Matlab, I mean, there are three kind of token sales as of now, mainstream. ICO, initial coin offering, that is done basically by any company from their own website. They set up a website, they set up some payment trails, and then they offer crypto or their token from their website. So that is ICO. IEO, initial exchange offering, and that is done on exchanges. So exchanges like Binance and KuCoin and all these big exchanges have their pages where these new coins are listed. So those coins are listed very first time at the very exchange only, and so that is IEO. And another one is initial DEX offering, IDO. So coins are listed on DEXs. So among these three, the most compliant way of doing an ICO would be IEO. If suppose every issuer of token has different risk appetites. Suppose you are a new company, and you have a little crunch of uh, resources, then because IEO offering is also a little expensive, then you have but you have far bigger risk appetite, then you may go for ICO or IDO. But if you are some big company and you have a good amount of resources, then it would be advisable for you or that issuer to go through IO, because that is more compliant. And if we follow that compliant route, regulators are not are less likely to come after us, uh, saying that our token sale was a security sale. And also,
Right.
like
But in that case, my product needs to be an exchange, right, to give an IEO.
your product needs to be in,
Exchange.
yeah,
I
your
to
product.
offer I, but if my product is not IEO, it's not an exchange.
Your product, your coin have to go to that exchange and fill up their form and do all the relevant
Okay.
process,
Okay.
and
So
then they will list it.
the offering is through the exchange.
Yeah,
That is an IEO.
that is an IEO.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying ki, so what IEO basically does different is these exchanges already are having all the KYC checks on their customers. So if you see Binance, KuCoin, uh, I'm not sure Indian exchanges do this IEO and launch tokens. I'm not sure. I think they don't do that. But Binance, KuCoin, and all these bigger exchanges do that. So what they and why it's more compliant with them is because they have KYC records of all their customers. So this KYC AML, this KYC AML compliance becomes very very crucial in terms of when a company is doing a token offering, a token sale, because regulators are because crypto is seen as something which this money launderers use to launder their money or to evade taxes, and that's the major concern of regulators around world uh, from crypto. So that's why they, among other compliances, they specifically uh, focus on KYC AML compliances so that they can know.
Right. So, but in this case, then all the crypto laws apply to my token. Then I have to comply with all the laws.
Uh, there, you don't have any specific crypto laws, but you have to comply with either KYC ML laws is the first major part of it. Then comes some other laws while ICO. So KYC ML we have talked in length, I think. And then while doing token sale, we also have to we also have to consider some other laws, such as marketing. Now, how to go about marketing a token? You cannot just say, come and buy a token, it will go up in value. Uh, this line cannot be used to attract customers and consumers to purchase a token. Because if we use this line, then there will be trouble from regulators that no, this cannot be done. Because regulators want, so So I'll tell you. So there are in every jurisdiction there are two types of tokens. One is security token, another is utility token, and and these tokens and regulators have come up with specific regulations for these tokens. So the security token is a token that is like security. You can assume a Tesla stock or a Reliance stock, and you tokenize that stock. So that is a security token. But on the other hand, most of our crypto tokens are aimed to be utility tokens. Utility tokens would mean that uh, by holding that token or by using that token, user is getting some services out of that platform. So that is the utility token. And security token is uh, by holding that token, that user or that holder of that token is expecting to get gains by the increase in the value of that token. Same as goes with security. We hold securities, we buy stocks because we feel that it will go up, and we will get compensated by the appreciation in its value. But in tokens, normally it works like this only. Normally, a retail investor or user go and purchase token for value appreciation only. But in terms of law, for regulators, it have to be shown that it's not a security token. It's actually we are providing utility to customers. So that also becomes a main thing.
Right. So, what exactly is a security, and how does the government kind of classify which is a security, which is a utility token, and difference between STO and ICO then?
Yeah,
So, okay.
yeah. So every jurisdiction have their own securities act, and in their securities act, they define what is a security. And most of the jurisdictions have a pretty standard definition of security. Uh, and I'll give you examples. They in that definition it considers security as stocks, as derivatives, options, futures, all the financial, all the financial, all the financial this financial instruments. Okay, so these are considered as security. And utility, as I told you, utility would be something that that by holding that or by using that thing or token, one customer is allowed for some type of service. For say, let's say in play to one space, if a user is holding one token, X, let's take example of X Infinity or Stepan, anything. So if a user is holding that token, he is entitled to use that token into that game and get services out of that game or platform. So that is utility. But if you hold any stock, any security, uh, let's say Reliance, Tesla, anything. So if you hold that security, that Tesla, that Reliance isn't liable to provide you with any service. Reliance will not give you their products if you hold their stocks. Tesla will not give you their car if you hold their stocks. Uh, the only return which you will get by holding stocks is potential appreciation in value. But in utility token, things are different. You will get services out of the platform. So that's the major difference between a utility token and security token. And regulation considers this in their definition. Uh, the only jurisdiction where the security definition is more nuanced is US. And I don't know if you're familiar with in US there are lots of security law cases on tokens and token offerings. This US has SEC as their security board, like we have SEBI in India. So this SEC comes after with every token sale, uh, which is unauthorized and which has not complied with relevant laws, and they term it as a security sale, unauthorized security sale, and then they fine it and then they basically harass it. So, and the way they do it is because they have this case law called Howey test. I think in crypto, this Howey test is very popular because so what Howey test do is apart from the securities which we just mentioned, which we just discussed, how we test what it do is, so basically it have 4 points. First is investment of money. Second is common institution. Third is return on that investment of money. And fourth is by the efforts of others. The fourth point is very, very crucial to this definition. So what they do is they use this Howey test on token offerings, and they say basically what they do is every token offering hides behind the mask of we are a utility token and we will give some utility, but in reality they are just fundraising for their operations, and that's what SEC come after. So if let's say one token raised some money for developing a new project, SEC will come after them and they say based on that how we test they will say "Ki, okay, what you are doing here is investor or user is giving you money, that is investment of money, and he is expecting that you will develop your company by his fund, and then in future he will get profit out of that initial amount of investment which he has made. So that comes and that classifies as a security. So by using this reasoning, it becomes very, very uh, critical for tokens to ensure that they have correct structure in place, legal structure in place, and they have correct way of marketing their tokens. Marketing of tokens becomes increasingly important at this point of time, because if we simply say that purchase our tokens and you will be and it will get appreciate in value, and you will be profitable, or purchase our tokens, our company will build our project, and as our project will get built, it will be worth much more than what it is today, and you will get money out of that. So these all comes under security, specifically under US. So that's why security laws of US are very troublesome for token sales. And normally projects try to evade US by not selling their tokens to US investors.
Right, understood. So, but again, in the US, the laws that will apply to these tokens will be the same as any other security, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
any special laws, particularly for those.
No,
But
no.
for India,
Special.
you mentioned there are
Yeah, I was saying special
yes,
laws are being made in US. Not at the moment. They don't have it right now, but it's in process. Bills are being established in parliament, and some assent have to be given, but yeah, it's in process.
right. But from the US standpoint of view, I believe they are trying to regulate the industry, but at the same time trying to encourage it as well. I think they
Right,
understand that they need to support this. But
right.
with India, I think they are a little confused in India. They want to promote blockchain technology, but uh, quite dramatically they're opposing all these tokens and cryptos. Okay, crypto is another thing, but you need to support tokens in order to have an ecosystem, in order to have a product ecosystem, right? So,
Right.
what are your views on that, and where is India with that?
Yeah, so as you rightly pointed out, the common consensus in US is to support this new technological field, which is blockchain and crypto. And as US regulators and mostly their politicians, uh, Also, they also have some vested interest. They also want support from public. But yeah, that is another case. But at the end, they are they are making efforts to make some friendly laws for crypto, because at the end laws are needed, and that is now a common consensus among industry. Everyone knows laws are needed for blockchain to go mainstream, to go for crypto to go mainstream and attract a lot of users and worldwide following. But and for that laws are needed, because without laws anarchy happens, and investors lose money and scams happen, and then uh, people lose faith from this field. So that's why laws are important. That's given fact. But at the same time, regulators should be considerate enough to make laws which are friendly and which doesn't stifle the innovation of the industry. So US has understood that, and US is making efforts to bring friendly laws. So yeah, so that's why they are far ahead in the curve, especially if we compare it to India. Indian regulators are confused. They are not sure whether to embrace this new technology, or whether they should shut it. Because the thing in India is they so India was on a real good economic growth up till now, uh, and everything was going fine with India. And people here are content with how the things were going, because we had all the good resources which a nation need for having a for growing a good economy and good GDP. Now this one new thing comes, that is blockchain. Now people are already content here that whatever was running in past, it was fine. Now they have to mend their ways and think about it, whether it can hamper our growth or whether it can increase our growth. Now this is the decision that they have to make, and they are they don't want to make it in haste. They are taking their time. What they're doing is they want to see all this established jurisdictions such as US, UK, how they are dealing with it, and based on their dealings, they will come up with regulations uh, similar to them with for crypto in India.
Right, indeed. So, any other views you have? Any other kind of regulations that are coming up, and your overall view on how the government should actually make friendly laws and how this industry can be supported?
Yeah, so everything I think now depends on US particularly, because from all the jurisdictions I have seen, US is the jurisdiction where most of the innovations and laws are happening with respect to crypto. Uh, Other jurisdiction as well, like Europe, UK, they come up with crypto laws, but in US they are far ahead of the curve. And now it will depend what type of regulations they bring and what are the effects of that regulation. And based on the effects of that regulation, other jurisdictions such as India would likely to follow them. The biggest confusing, or the biggest point which I feel to consider right now is what will actually happen to DeFi, because the regulators are not very comfortable with DeFi, because in DeFi you don't have KYC AML. and you don't have any way also to enforce KYC. So because of that, regulators are very much, I should say, confused about how to deal with DeFi, because what happens in normal company and in normal world is regulators go after intermediaries. Uh, Intermediaries would be like payment systems like Paytm, Google Pay, and all those. So what they would do is, or intermediaries would be banks. So what they would do is they would ensure, they would make sure कि these intermediaries would have to do KYC ML on their customers and users. And they can enforce it because they know who is the party running it, and they can send notice if banks or if some company doesn't enforce KYC ML norms, then they can send notice to that person because that is known. But what happens in DeFi is uh, there is no central party where you can send notice. If you say, let's take example of Uniswap. Uniswap is they have a developing team, but the developing team is not directly related to Uniswap product, so they cannot control it. Their product is out there on blockchain. It's coded. Now they cannot control it. They can so they can make a new version of it, but the previous version of it, they cannot control it anymore. So if regulators want to enforce KYC ML, and Uniswap doesn't have KYC ML, users can simply go and transact money without showing any proof of identity. So now regulators are in dilemma how to enforce these regulations on products such as Uniswap, because the developing team cannot do anything now, uh, and developing team cannot be attributable to that product because they are not related to that product. uh, Now they are not no more related to that product. So yeah, that would be the interesting thing, how these regulators tackle DeFi. So yeah, DeFi, I think it can be tackled. We can have two different things. Either there will be no DeFi, regulators do something and enforce KYC AML in all the DeFi platforms. So if there is KYC ML, it cannot be considered as DeFi because the very principles of DeFi says that a user should be private, privacy of the user should be paramount, and no KYC ML requirements as such should be there. So it could happen that DeFi in the current scenario as it is existing may not be there in future based upon the regulations which regulators come up with. Yeah, that could be the case, but in my view, I don't support that. Obviously, I want DeFi as it is to remain as it is, but let's see what future holds.
Right. So with that, Dushyant, thank you very much for appearing on the show. It
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
very interesting talk with you, and thank you.
Thanks, Pratik.